Right. So tonight we're discussing we're learning about Parashat Devarim, and if you look through it, I like to point out a very famous Or HaChaim HaKadosh. And what is it? It says by the Meraglim, when Moshe Rabbeinu was rebuking the people, this is the parasha where he hints to the rebukes out of the honor of Klal Yisrael. That we all know. You know, if you look at the Torah, it says, Ben Tofel v'di zahav. What's v'di zahav? V'di zahav is, zahav comes from Lashon of gold. It's the Het HaEgel. So out of respect for them, he didn't want to say, oh, but you did a Het HaEgel. He didn't want to do that. So he did it in a buttering way where it says, oh, by the way, v'di zahav. Remember that? It's like you're hinting to the person in order for the person to remember on his own. And Moshe Rabbeinu learned from Yaakov Avinu that when Yaakov was passing away from this world, he brought his children in, and each child he gave him his own advice that he wanted to give him. Reuven, Shimon, whatever it was, Yaakov did that before he passed away. So Moshe Rabbeinu was passing away, and he's telling the people, look, this is what I'm about to do, this is what's happening, and let's just pay attention. And that's what happens, basically. Now, if you look, one of the things in this week's parasha, it speaks about Moshe Rabbeinu is telling them about the Het HaMeraglim. And if you look in Perek Aleph, Pasuk Lamed Zayin, it says like this. It says, Gam bihi ta'anav Adonai biglalchem lemor gam ata lo tavo sham. What does that mean? Right? You're also not going into Israel. Well, and he's saying the cause is because of Het HaMeraglim. Now, Jack was asking me a question. He says, I don't understand. How is it the Het HaMeraglim caused Moshe Rabbeinu not to go into Israel?
Okay, hold on, I'm sorry. What's the Het HaMeraglim? What is that?
Het HaMeraglim was where they spoke. What happened was, in simplicity, was Hashem told Bnei Yisrael, you're going to conquer the land of Israel. I'll be with you. You'll make it happen. It's a beautiful land. Bnei Yisrael wanted to go actually and send messengers. They sent spies to go and see the land and come back and tell us how it is. So they all went. Two of them, Caleb ben Yefuneh and Yoshua ben Nun, those were the ones that defended the land of Israel. The other 10 were saying, oh, there's giants there, I don't know if we should do that, I don't know if we can conquer it. And basically, because of that, Bnei Yisrael started crying. And they cried that night. And they're like, oh, what's going to be? Hashem says, you're crying for naught. You're crying for nothing? This day will be a day of crying for many years to come, for generations to come. And what night was that? It was the night of Tisha B'Av. That was the night. The night of Tisha B'Av was the night when Moshe Rabbeinu, when the Meraglim came back and they said the news, the Bnei Yisrael is crying. Hashem says, you're crying for nothing? You're crying for nothing? That's it. For generations, this will be the saddest day. Tisha B'Av, as we know, is the saddest day of the year. And not only that, it's brought down in Masechet Chagigah that says, in Shamayim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's no sadness, Hod v'hadal lefanav oz v'chadva b'mkomo, which means there's no sadness by Hashem's domain. There's no such thing as sadness. And he says, there's one day that even in the inner chambers, the outer chambers, where even the angels are crying. And what day is that? The day of Tisha B'Av. It's a day of mourning. That's what it is. And when did it all start? Many years ago, when Bnei Yisrael will complain, will think, oh, that we heard from the Meraglim, this, that. We're out. What's going to be from that time? That's it. Hashem says, fine, you cry for nothing, it'll be, you'll cry for something now. And the first Beit HaMikdash got destroyed, the second Beit HaMikdash got destroyed, Betar, Gan Harav. Right? Now, we know history, the famous story of the rock. What was the rock? HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu, what does he tell Moshe? Moshe, talk to the rock and make sure the rock, water comes out of the rock. And what does Moshe do? Instead of hitting it, instead of talking to it, he hits it. And Hashem says, okay, you're not going into Eretz Yisrael because of that. Now, one second. We see in this week's parasha, not like that. We have to understand that. This is the Orah Haimic question. Because in this week's parasha it says, Gam bi tanef Adonai b'gilalchem, lemor gam ata lo tavo sham. Not only Bnei Yisrael, the 40 years in the Midbar, they're not going into Israel, but even Moshe, because of them. That Moshe Rabbeinu was telling them because of you guys. How is Moshe Rabbeinu telling them because of them? It wasn't because of them, you know Torah. It was because of you eat the rock. So how are we saying this? The answer is, the Orah Haim says, listen to what it is. And I'll tell you in a nutshell. I want to read it to you, the Orah Haim. V'anachon hu al pi divrehem. The pasuk says, "Vayivku ha'am balayla." That day they cried. It was Tisha B'av, and he says, "Leil Tisha B'av hayta shebo nechrav habayit." And it says, "Shema." So now we know there's something called 7 sefirot, where each, like for example, Abraham Avinu was known as Ish HaHesed, Yitzhak was Gevurah, Yaakov was Tiferet. These are all sefirot where we know it has an effect on the person itself. And what was Moshe Rabbeinu? Moshe was Netzach. You see, every day we have in the Sukkot, let's say, we have first day is Abraham, second day it's Yitzhak, right? They come to the Sukkah, and we always say, "Oh, this is the Hesed." And so Moshe Rabbeinu represents Netzach. What's Netzach? Netzach means eternal. Whatever Moshe Rabbeinu dealt with, it was eternity. Like, for example, Mishkan. Mishkan got buried. Wasn't destroyed, Mishkan was buried. Torah was given to us. We have the Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu till today. It's Netzach. Netzach means, Nitzchiyut means eternal. It has a lasting effect. That being said, it's brought down that if Moshe Rabbeinu entered Eretz Yisrael, he would have built the Beit HaMikdash. And if he would have built the Beit HaMikdash, it would have been Netzach. It would have been eternal, and it would never have been destroyed. And that is the words of what it says over here. It says in Mesechet Sotah, Shima yanichnas Moshe la'aretz. If Moshe entered the land of Israel, haya boneh Beit HaMikdash. He would have built the Beit HaMikdash, lo haya abayit nechrav. It would never have been destroyed. Right? So then if that's the case, furthermore, so what's the problem of not that being destroyed? Good, we don't want to be destroyed. He should have went in and not be destroyed. And furthermore, it says, the Midrash in Tehillim, there's a pasuk that says, Mizmor la'asaf ba'u ga'im nagatecha. When destruction of the Beit HaMikdash is coming, it says, Mizmor la'asaf. And the question is, the rabbis ask, it shouldn't say, Mizmor is like a song. It shouldn't be a song, it should be a kina, it should be a crying. It should be crying, what's going on? Rather, Hashem, instead of hitting his own children, because you have to understand, Beit HaMikdash doesn't just get destroyed. Beit HaMikdash gets destroyed because of our sins. Right? It's not like that. There's a pasuk that says, "Shotu bechutzot Yerushalayim im iru udu im tevkshu emuna." If you would find a person that has emuna, I would forgive. Emuna in what? Emuna in business. Find me somebody that's doing business honestly. So it's saying, wow, you wouldn't destroy Yerushalayim. Find me something. So you have to understand, Yerushalayim doesn't just get destroyed. The Beit HaMikdash doesn't get destroyed. There's the avon of Bnei Yisrael, unfortunately, and that Hashem needs a kapara. Hashem doesn't need anything, but you know what I'm saying. We need a kapara. So now what's the kapara? Instead of getting us destroyed, to get the kapara on us, Hashem will destroy the Beit HaMikdash. So if Moshe Rabbeinu would have went in, what would have happened? We all would have been destroyed. We would have all been destroyed. Not the Beit HaMikdash, because Moshe Rabbeinu lasts for Netzach. It lasts for eternity. And that's why what's happening is saying, because you had Cheta Meraglim, that you cried on Tisha B'Av night, so I was Megalgel. Megilgul means it snowballed effect on me, that I had to be affected by your actions, that I couldn't speak to the rock anymore. It had to be a cause where I had to hit the rock. Otherwise I wouldn't have hit the rock. But that's why the pasuk says, Gam b'tanef Adonai b'glalchem. Galal is like a spin roll. I can't go because you spin me a roll. Since you caused it much earlier, so now when I came along and I had to speak to the rock, I had to hit the rock, because if I would have spoke to the rock and I would have went into Israel, guess what? We have a big problem over here. Why? Beit HaMikdash would have been existing forever. And if Beit HaMikdash would be existing forever, who gets the hit? Bnei Yisrael, because we need kaparat avonot. And if there's no Bnei Yisrael, that's it, we're done.
Wait, it would be a bad thing if
Moshe, that's exactly what we're trying to say. The Orah HaMikadosh is saying that. We would get. Think about it like this. Think about it like this. I'll give you an example.
Because of the way
exactly.
Yerushalayim was acting during
exactly. We would have got kaparat avonot. I'll give you.
Why was the shield basically?
I want to give you an example. But this is a perfect example, right? Let's say a person's, it should never happen. You should never get angry. You should never ever get angry. Whatever you do, don't get angry. Right? Whatever you do, don't get angry. But imagine right now a person's angry, right? And he has to, you're not allowed to do this. You have to break something. I'm going wild, I got to break something. Right? And you have a sentimental value over here from your great-great-great-great-grandma, a vase. Then you have a toilet set. You have a backgammon set. Worth whatever it was. So now the guy's breaking something. Hey, he's in your house. He said, no, please, not the vase. He has the vase in his hand. No, not the vase, please, not the vase. Take the backgammon set, please. So he takes the backgammon set and throws it. All right, it breaks. The backgammon breaks. But now he calmed down. He calmed down his whole. Whole being. Like, Baruch Hashem, he did it. Baruch Hashem. And now, what are you saying? You're saying, wow, all this is great because what? Because we had the backgammon set. Baruch Hashem that we had the backgammon set. Because we didn't have the backgammon set. Avi, do me a favor, lower the AC a little bit. What number is it on? Lower it to 71. Right? If we didn't have the bag, to the left. No, straight to the left. That way, to the left. If we didn't have the backgammon set, then what would have happened? There's only two items in the room: a backgammon set and the vase from your great-great-grandma, worth who knows how much, millions of dollars. So what are you going to break?
The backgammon.
Yeah, exactly. You're saying that, but the person that's in his rent, he's going to break out. No. If that wasn't there, and if the only thing that was there is what? If the only thing that was there was the vase, what are you going to break?
The vase.
Exactly. So Hashem says, Moshe Rabbeinu, there's a problem earlier. What's the problem? The Bnei Yisrael sinned. Where? By crying for that night when Aglim came, they cried out, "What's going to be? We're going to get destroyed. We can't go into Israel. What's going to happen?" Because they cried for nothing. So Hashem says, "Okay, you're going to see this. What's going to happen?" And now Moshe is saying, "Now I have to get caused with this whole thing with hitting the rock." Because if I didn't get hit by a rock, I would have went into Israel. If I would have went to Israel, and I would have built a Beit HaMikdash, I come from Netzach. Netzach is like we said, that what Moshe Rabbeinu was Netzach. That, well, the Gemara says, Shemayan Nas Moshe La'aretz Haya Boneh Beit HaMikdash Lo Haya Bay Nechlav. Nobody can destroy it. And if nobody can destroy it, where is the Kapara going to come from? From Bnei Yisrael dying.
So technically you're saying that the Meraglim had to give a better report. Also,
they didn't. No. If the Meraglim, one second. I want to tell you something. If Meraglim didn't say any report, we're going to Israel, and then we're done.
That's what I'm saying.
No, and then we're done. There's no such thing. The only reason why Moshe,
can't pick up Avon.
The reason, what Avon? The Avon is because we cried. What happened? I'll tell you. Hashem says the land is good, everything is good. There's that.
He promised that he's not going to be a problem.
There's not going to be a problem.
And they went and they were like, "Oh, there's going to be problems."
There's going to be problems, exactly. So therefore,
I just told you there's not going to be problems.
And I told you there's no problems. Now you're crying because there's problems. No problem. I'm going to make you always cry.
Now you're going to have problems.
Now you're going to have problems. So now Moshe Rabbeinu. Then after the story comes with Moshe Rabbeinu with the Memeriva, with the rock. We're hitting the rock, and now Moshe is saying because of you guys, because we know the future that day is going to come, as Beit HaMikdash is going to be destroyed. Now you got me caused because if I go in, that's it. Where's the kapara going to go to? To Bnei Yisrael. We can't let that happen.
You kind of saved Bnei Yisrael.
No, because
that's what I'm trying to say.
Again, there would be no Tisha B'Av at all, zero Tisha B'Av.
But if the Meraglim relies on the bad report.
And if the Meraglim said a good report, then there would be no Tisha B'Av. The reason why there's Tisha
You're
B'Av.
saying that's a problem because then Hashem would take it out on the.
One second, but the thing is, no, I got what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to tell you is Hashem would never. You hear what he's saying now. You hear what he's saying, Avi? Yeah, he's saying
there wouldn't be a punishment because there would be no crime. That's the point.
Yeah, but he's saying that there would be sins though. But he said would add sins. And in general.
Yeah, but not as
Why
severe
not?
as
Why
this.
not? Why?
Because we would already have Eretz Yisrael, we already have the Beit HaMikdash.
Fine, Moshe's gonna pass away eventually, and then they're just
I
gonna
wanna-
have another leader and they're gonna rebel.
Jack, I want to read it to you
I
again.
don't want to throw this over.
No, I hear what you're saying. He says, I want to read it to you. ויבכו העם בלילה, קבעו בכייה לדורות. כי ליל תשעה באב הייתה שבו נחרב הבית. Right? That was the day no, because it could have been a different day. I'm saying it could have been something else. It could have been a million things. There's a million things. Hashem took it and threw the kapara on the what? On the sticks and stones. Right? They would have got destroyed inside of the Beit HaMikdash. And therefore Moshe Rabbeinu was really saying that what? Moshe Rabbeinu was saying is because of you guys, I had to go through that sin. Yeah? Jack, you here or no? You bothered with something?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't like.
No,
it doesn't answer the
This I
question.
understand.
Yeah, it answers.
No, this I understand.
It answers. Everything answers. Everything answers. דברים שלכם, אם לא היה עוון מלאכים, היו ננסים אפשר שהיה ננס משה עמהם, וגם שבני בית המקדש אין מיחוש כי לא נתגבר בקנאת הרע, והיו עומדים בצדקה לארץ, הם מצאו לעוון מלאכים, גברה יד רשעה וידה. No, also, because Jack was asking a good question. He's saying, wait, the people sinned, right? So if the people sinned, the Beit HaMikdash, he's saying the Meraglim, it's good what they did. Because why? Because if there would be no sin of Meraglim and everything like that, then we would never, we would have had the Beit HaMikdash, we would have had the Beit HaMikdash, Hashem would have taken the anger on us. And the answer to that question is that if we didn't have the sin of the Meraglim, if we did have the sin of Meraglim, Bnei Yisrael would never, I would assume, would never have faltered where they would falter.
Because they would have entered the land sooner.
They would have entered the land sooner.
Right.
They would have. A lot of things.
Right.
A lot of things would have happened otherwise.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? They wouldn't. It wouldn't have had that pitfall because that we had the pitfall because of everything got good.
Right.
So now we're clear.
Yeah.
So again, now the pasuk makes very much sense. Why does the pasuk say that what? That it was because the sin of Meraglim, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't get in the land of Israel. That's what it says. So it's not true. It's because he hit the rock. The answer is no. It says because they spoke what they spoke about the land of Israel. Now what happens? What happens is going to happen is what? Is that they're going to be going to Israel, and if Moshe Rabbeinu enters with them, and he's going to build the Beit HaMikdash, it would never have been destroyed. If it would never be destroyed, then Bnei Yisrael would have been destroyed. Huh? And that's a very good, very fitting pshat in the Pesukim. Now that we have that, I want to just go back and see what is it why was it such a strong sin of the Meraglim? It's so strong that till today we're suffering. The Beit HaMikdash is suffering, and it was so bad that Hashem says, for generations, I'm going to pick this day, the day of crying. And every bad thing, like a very bad thing to Klal Yisrael, happened on Tisha B'Av. It happened Tisha B'Av. Oh, this Tisha B'Av. Go look in history. Tisha B'Av. Right? So what was it so strong that the Bnei Meraglim did? Is it that big of a sin?
They didn't believe
Hashem's words directly.
They didn't
They
really
said
believe.
go, and they said, no, we're not going to.
So I'm going to read you a midrash that we printed out over here, and I'd like you to hear it clear. What was the big avon? You ready? Midrash says as follows. Right? Shlach lecha anashim. Ava b'shem HaKadosh Baruch Hu shalach lecha. So Hashem says, send the Meraglim. That's what it says. Lo haya min HaKadosh Baruch Hu sheyelchu. Hashem didn't really want to do it. He didn't want to. So lama, why did he do it? Why didn't he want to send Meraglim? Why didn't Hashem want to send Meraglim?
They didn't have to.
I'll read you the Midrash. Because Hashem told Bnei Yisrael that Eretz Yisrael is Eretz Zetzim Dvash. And he says, Ki Adonai Elohecha meviacha el haaretz. God is saying, I'm bringing you to the land. And he says, you will get the land. So therefore, they have a promise from God that they're getting the land. And it's a good land. So what are you scared of? Imagine right now, 10 guys, literally 10 guys go to Iran. You know these guys. They're the leaders of the community. Because that's what the Menachem were. They were leaders of the community. And they go and they tell you, I was in Iran. I was there. They have atomic bombs and they have this and they have that. And it's happening. It's crazy. Israel, they're going straight. Would you believe it, yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
Of course you're going to believe it. So what do you want from Bnei Yisrael? What is wrong with Bnei Yisrael, what they did? They're crying, they're scared. They're coming back and they're saying this. They're saying that. They're listening to the leaders. These are the leaders
But they need
of
to know how
this.
to think for themselves.
But one second, these are the leaders of.
Hashem told him, he said to send them.
See-
and these are all
Hashem didn't want to send them. Hashem said, I don't want to send them. No, Hashem doesn't.
We're
Hashem,
supposed to read sarcasm from
One second.
Hashem said told us is good.
one second. One second. Wait, 1 second. Let's get this straight. It says when Hashem's telling to send them, Hashem doesn't want to really send anybody. The only reason why He says to send is only because they really wanted. But what's the reason why Hashem didn't want to send? Why not? Because Hashem told them, I'm already with you. I'm giving you the land. I'm with you. You have nothing to worry about.
But they were worried anyways.
No, so that's the problem. What are they worried about? Now the Midrash goes on. Hashem Amad. But even when they were Egypt, Hashem told them, I'll save you from Egypt, and I'll get you into the land of Israel. So Hashem is guaranteeing it. You're going to guarantee it. Right? And not only that, we see that God went in front of them how? Ba'amud Anan. What was in the Midbar? The clouds of glory. So they're seeing miracles anyway. How are they walking into the desert? How are they walking in the middle of the night? You need a light to see. You think they had a flashlight? What did they have? A flashlight? What do you think they had? A flashlight? Everybody take out the flashlight? What did they have?
The moon.
They saw, not the moon. They had an ash. They had an amud ash. They had a fire pillar that everybody saw. So therefore, they had a literal light that were walking with them. In the day, what they have? They had the amud anan. They had the anan. They had the cloud of glory. Where if you would shoot bow and arrows, it would get stuck in there. You can't get Bnei Yisrael. So they saw it. So what's going on? He says, I don't understand what's going on. Hashem olech livnehem yomam ba'amud anan. Umau shalach al Hashem. What do you send them for? Eli Yisrael hen b'shu adavrim alav shemashah shegiu le'yirash t'tachumin amar lehem ha'kedosh baruch hu re'en atan Hashem l'chavnech et haaretz. I'm giving it to you. B'dosh l'gmor Yisrael. What are you doing? What's happening? Right? El Amru, they said, we want to send the spies. Why? It says in the Midrash over here, Shelo ha'eminu. And that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. It comes down to one area. If God tells you something, and it might not make any sense to you, it doesn't make a difference what your brain says. Because our brain is saying, we have these 10 leaders, and we listen to all these leaders every single time. Like, what's going on? God said, you have nothing to worry about. So go send the leaders. They come back. They said a report. They this, that. I don't care. God said at the end of the day that you'll be saved. I'm going to walk you in. You're going to get it. So you don't have Emuna? That's a harsh punishment. You hear what's going on over here? You hear what it is? Such a harsh punishment for not having Emuna. Ki lo ha'eminu be'elokim. Uchti b'torato. What it says, David HaMelech says, it says, b'torato. Homer ki lo ha'eminu be'elokim. Right? Rabbi Yeshua says, Lama ayu domim lemelech. It's like a king. Shezimen libno isha na'ah. Ubat tovim v'ashira. Says, it's like a king that you tell your son, by the way, I have a beautiful, beautiful girl for you. She comes from a good family. She's very, very wealthy. She's well-to-do. Everything. She has the whole package. Amalo Amelech. Zimati lecha isha na'ah. I got it. Amalo Ben says, no problem, Daddy, but I have to see her first. Midrash says this. This is Midrash. Shelo yamin avi, because he didn't trust his father. Right? What happens to his father? He feels very bad. I'm telling you that I have a beautiful girl for you. She has everything. What are you worried about? No, I have to see her first. You don't trust me? That's what's going on over here. You don't trust me? This is Midrash. Midrash says this example. What happens? It says, Rabbi Yosef Palacci. What is it? What is it similar to? It's like a king. He says to his son, my dear son, I have the most beautiful girl for you. And she has good character traits. And she comes from a good family. And she has everything that you need. What does the son say? I'll take her, but I first have to see her. What do you mean? I just told you she's beautiful. She has everything. 10, everything. I have to see her. How bad does the father feel? How bad does the father? I don't understand. You don't trust me? If you imagine right now, your father comes to you and it does it. Sign the paper. So here's the paper. Read the paper. Sign the paper. Like wait, Dad. What is it, son? Trust me. This is a good paper for you. I need you to sign it. No. First, I have to read it. Chutzpan. What are you chutzpah? I'm telling you to sign the paper. You're not trusting your father? I have to read it. It's chutzpah. Chutzpah, not chutzpah. Azut. No, isn't it azut?
Depends on who your dad is.
It depends on who your dad is. No, but isn't it chutzpah? Avi? Is chutzpah? You're like, wait, let me see let me see the paper. What am I signing? Am I signing off one of the... Let me call the lawyer. And then your father finds out that he called a lawyer, and you look at that. How bad would your father feel?
We have the same lawyer.
Imagine, you get a different lawyer, that lawyer calls the other lawyer, oh, by the way, your son just called me, why? Oh, he said you want to sign papers, what? He called you for that? He doesn't trust his own father? If you can't trust your own father, who are you going to trust? Who are you going to trust? And therefore, the mashal that Rabbi Yoshua brings down in the Midrash, he says, it's like a king who designated his son with the most beautiful girl, and says, my dear son, take her, I'm setting it up, I want you to get married next week. Not that I have to see her. How hard does the father feel? Amar Aviv Ma'aseh. What am I going to do? The father's saying this. What am I going to do? If I don't show this girl to him, what is he going to say? Oh, my father's not showing it to me because what?
She's ugly.
Maybe she's ugly. So what does Hashem do? Hashem says, I have to send him an aglim, not because I want to, because I have to, because then you're going to think that, maybe the land is not the greatest. So it's like a catch-22. I don't want to send him an aglim, but what I have to send him an aglim? What I have to send him an aglim? Because what? Because if I say no, what are you going to think? Oh, maybe it's really not the greatest land. Maybe we don't know something. So Hashem's like, I send it for you guys, not for me. Okay, so he sends it. בסוף אמר לו, ראה אותה, וזה כי הסגבתי לה. פשוט לא האמנת בי קונם שאין אתה רואה אותה בביתך, אלא בנך אני נותנה. וכך הקדוש ברוך הוא אמר לישראל, השם told ישראל, I told you the land is good, ולא האמינו, אלא אמרו נשלחה אנשים. And let them realize, אמר הקדוש ברוך הוא, אם מעכב אני עליהם, הם אומרים לדעת שאין הטובה, לא ראה אותה לנו, אלא יראו אותה, ובשבועה שאין אחד מהם נכנס לתוכה. He says, no problem, you want to see it? No problem, none of you coming in. You want to see it? No problem. None of the generation. You don't believe me? You don't trust me? You're not getting it now. Makes sense? Now you're not going to get it. But where did it all stem from? Where is it all coming from? Coming from one thing. One thing. And one thing only. What is that one thing only? It is Emuna. It boils down to what God tells you. God tells you it's good, it's good. You want to see, you see. It doesn't make sense. There's a lot of times where people talk about Emuna and Bitachon and everything like that. But people think, okay, fine, what's the big deal if I don't have Emuna and Bitachon? No, it's a big deal. You're getting Hashem upset. Why? Because He did so many good things to you, so many times, well, why this time you're not having Emuna? You know, a guy came over to me this past, about 2 weeks ago, and he's speaking about his business, about Amazon. And he's telling me, you don't know, Rabbi, I'm a big, the Amazon, when I'm there, you don't know what happens. I was like, what happens? He's like, one day I can have all these items being sold, and all of a sudden they close my account down. And it didn't happen once, it happened 15 times. I get nervous. I'm scared to open up my account after Shabbat. He tells me, I'm scared to open up. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they're going to tell me. I don't know what they're going to close. I don't know what they're not going to ship. Tell me, what should I do? Should I give more tzedakah? Should I do this? Should I do that? Tell me. I said, you have a problem. He said, what? A problem in Bitachon. He says, what does that mean? He says, look, think about it. What's going on? Why are you nervous? Why are you nervous? You believe who's giving you the parashat? Who is it? Who is it? You believe that that's Amazon? And then he said, so Rabbi, give me advice. I said, very simple. How many times did this Amazon thing happen to you? He said, I'm business over 10 years. It happens to me at least twice a month. That's what he tells me. I said, and just listen to what your words are saying. It happened to you at least twice a month, and he Amazon 10 years. So what makes you think the next one's not going to work out? It worked out up until then. So what makes you think it's not going to work out? So it's very easy. How do you have Emuna b'tachon, Rabbi? What should I do? Look at your whole life and see how many times you thought it wouldn't work out, and it worked out every single time.
I thought you were going to tell him stop doing Amazon violations.
No, he's not. That's the thing. He's not doing Amazon violations. That's what I'm saying. He's not doing Amazon. He's doing what he's doing, and it's not working out. I said, what's going on? Guess what? You have nothing to worry about. Why you have nothing to worry about? Because guess what? It's nothing's going to happen. Because what? You have to have that bitachon and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what happened. You hear what's going on over here? No. You hear what's going on? And by the way, I want to tell you something. I didn't print one more item that I didn't send Avi to print out. But in it says you don't see the miracles that I already gave you. Meaning to say, besides the Amud Anan and Ma'un Esh, look at all the miracles I gave you out of Egypt. And he's still thinking that I can't. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's a chutzpah. I'll give you the perfect example that I love like a passion. This is one I love. I love this one. The one that I love is where you're teaching your kid to swim. You're always teaching your kid to swim, and you're trying, and the kid is grabbing on your arm for you want to drop for 1 second. No, you're not going to catch me. You're not going to catch me. Oh, I'm going to catch you. No, Daddy, no. You don't trust your father that he's going to catch you. Understand? Is that clear? So therefore, Rabotai, this is what we're learning over here. We're learning here tonight that he says, look at the past and see all the things that Hashem saved you. And that's really what it is. It boiled down to one thing. It boiled down because they didn't have that Emuna. If they didn't have that Emuna, guess what? This is intolerable. You have to have Emuna. President, okay, I don't have Emuna. No. You have to have Emuna. Because guess what? Because a person in general in life, don't think every single thing in your life is going to go smooth. Guaranteed. No question about it. There's no person in life that has a clean without a bump in the road. There's always something that comes up. And it might not happen now. It could give me 10 years coming next month, it could happen tomorrow. Nobody knows. But life is full of that challenges. And Hashem says, listen, look at me for a second. See what happened. See if everything's good. See that I'm good. See that I'm a good God. I don't mean any bad. Relax. Shwaya. And by the way, you become more healthier. A lot of times, I'm healthy, because eating too much. He does that. Forget the eating. It's stress. How many people die because of stress? But if they just had this Emuna b'tachon going on, so a lot of stress. Calms down. Nobody could touch you until it's time. Nobody could take anything away from you until it's supposed to be taken away. Even when David HaMelech was going to pass on, right? So he told him when he passing on. David HaMelech, when he passing on. So he told him passing on Shabbat. So he says, no, let him pass away when? Sunday. He doesn't want to pass away on Shabbat. You know what God answers him? This is Gemara Daf Yud, Mesech Makot. God says, can't do that. Why? Because who's supposed to reign over after you? Shlomo. And if you live an extra day, you're taking his kingship for 1 day. And nobody could take even 1 day, 1 minute, one second from somebody else's kingship. So we can't have Sunday. Something's out. You know what's going on over here? And I bet you if you'd ask Shlomo, his son, by the way, you mind if you be the king on Monday instead of Sunday? I guarantee you, he'll say, yeah, 100%. My father live extra day, b'chavod. But God says, listen, I'm in control, and I gave positions to people. This is what it is. This ends, starts and ends, finished. That's how meduyak it is. The Gemara Mesech Chulin says, you don't stub your toe unless it was decreed from Shemaim they're going to stub your toe. You know those times where you go in to get a cup of water in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm telling you, I got a fridge 2 weeks ago. I'm not even joking. I'm not
How
even.
you tell me? Your first one, Rabbi?
No, a broken fridge that broke. I broke a new one. Okay, Avi, relax. I'm not even joking. I opened up the fridge. They arranged it in a way where like if you look, the bottom of the fridge is a little bit higher. So when you open up the actual fridge, it doesn't hit your toe. So this guy, for some reason, I don't know, he had to come back and fix it, but he didn't do it. But you're not going to live without a fridge for a few days. Every single time, I was like, I just totally forgot. It's just a reaction that you have. And I was like, you open up your fridge for how many years? 10 years straight. You're thinking, this time, you just automatic. You cup of water, you're on the phone, this, that. Oh, man. Every single time, I'm not even, for 3 days straight. I'm like, wow, what's going on? It's not, man, that's what's happening. And therefore, Rabotai, this is the inyan over here about what? About Moshe Rabbeinu. What does it say over here? Biglalchem. He says, because you guys meraglim. Why? Because if I would have went in, according to the Rabbi says, if I would have went in, I'm nitzchiyut. The Beit HaMikdash would have stayed forever. And therefore, what's going to happen? If the Bnei Yisrael do sins, what's going to happen? He's going to destroy the Bnei Yisrael. So therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu, you have to falter in this Meriva. You have to falter in the hitting of the rock. Because if you don't fall in hitting the rock, you're going to go into Israel, you're going to build the Beit HaMikdash for sure. There's going to be problems later on with Bnei Yisrael. And why? Where did the Iker problem start from? From Bnei Yisrael not having Emuna and HaKadosh Baruch Hu by sending them Meraglim. Because even if you send them Meraglim, and they're saying the truth, there's giants and that, what are you afraid of if Hashem says, I'm going to give you miracles to save yourself? Is that clear?